Welcome to Results Mastery. Steve Mills here, and it's great to be back on my podcast. Now, this podcast is a little bit different because what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you a recording of a video that I produced literally an hour ago. Now, this is, for me, it's an opportunity to get you thinking about podcasting. You know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to always, every single time, sit there and think about, right, what am I going to say? What you can do is what I call maximize it. So I've taken a script that I've written. I've written some words. I've uploaded it to my website. I've then taken those words, turned it into a video. I've uploaded that video to YouTube. I've taken that YouTube video and I've shared it all over my social media on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so on and so forth. And now I'm taking those same words and I'm copying those words into a podcast from a video that I'm going to play you on YouTube. Does that make sense? And for me, it's just like a light bulb moment that I basically can produce something once and then benefit from it like everywhere. I can add it to my website, to my blog, to all my social media. I could take this podcast and push it out through social media. When I do a podcast, it automatically gets added into YouTube. If you go to my YouTube channel, which is Steve Mills Marketing, you'll find my podcasts all over there, as well as being on Amazon, as well as being on iTunes, and about 30 or 40 different radio stations, websites that they're already on. So, you know, I'm getting now up to and around 7,000 views every single time I do a podcast. So if you're not podcasting, you know, you should be. I think this cost me something like $200 a year to do as many podcasts. I could do 10 per day if I wanted. I could get myself out there again and again and again. And for me, that is a great opportunity. And it's also a great opportunity for you. So, without further ado, I'm going to talk to you now live on YouTube. The subject of this particular podcast is what's wrong with small business marketing. And you might think, well, nothing's wrong with my marketing, Steve. Well, you know, I don't know about you and I don't know about your business. What I do know is based on quarter of a century of helping businesses, they are not doing enough marketing, and the marketing they're doing is simply not good enough. Because if you're average at something, what rewards do you get? You don't get average rewards, you get poor rewards. You get to go bust within 5 years. And 80% of businesses manage to achieve that very dubious challenge or objective of going bust within 5 years. So we don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. I'm sure you don't want to do that. So have a listen to this podcast, and I look forward to speaking to you for a few moments at the end. Here we go. Hello, my name is Steve Mills. For over a quarter of a century, I've been working with businesses, helping them to grow and to leverage their business. I've done this all over the world in thousands of businesses in hundreds of industries, and I've helped some of them make massive multi-million pound additional income. Others, it's been hundreds of thousands, and for some startups getting to that elusive £100,000. But what's wrong? What's wrong with most marketing that's done by small business? What is it? You know, when you consider that 8 out of 10 businesses that start off now, within 5 years will have gone bust. And that's in normal times. That's not in the time that we're going through right now. You know, I dread to think what the numbers will be. And that's a really a terrible statistic, I think. When you think that, people are putting their business on the line, they're working, 12 hours a day, they're really, really putting a lot of time, money and effort into doing what they're doing. And, 80%, 8 out of 10 are going to go bust. So why is that? Well, the number one reason, despite what any accountant will tell you, the number one reason is lack of sales. It's not poor financial management, like they say. It's lack of sales. You've got to sell more. If you could sell more, you'd be successful, assuming you're selling it at a profitable way. So it's lack of sales. You need to generate more leads and convert more of leads into sales. Does that make sense? Because if it doesn't, you might as well turn this video off. If it does, continue listening. Now, I want to talk to you about what happens with most small businesses. What are they doing? What are they physically doing right now in terms of marketing? Well, the bottom line is they're not doing enough. They're just not doing enough stuff. I speak to businesses all the time and they tell me things like, well, I'm on LinkedIn and I post on there twice a month. It's not enough stuff. I do email marketing and we send out a quarterly newsletter. It's not enough stuff. Or, I try to phone people when I can, but I'm, normally really busy. So, I don't really do that very well. It's not enough stuff, Or, inquiries come in and we normally get back to them, within a few days. It's not quick enough. We need to do it quicker. Speed stuns. Phone them up within 5 minutes. They'll go, oh, wow, thank you ever so much for getting back to me. Because we don't expect that. Speed stuns, particularly when responding to an inquiry. It's a real advantage to you. If you're one of 5 people that they've asked for a quote, and you're the first one to get back to them, and you get back to them within 5 minutes, that's a real advantage. But I digress. So, if you think about what you're doing right now, my message to you, I suppose, it's twofold. One, you need to do more of it. Now, I know you're busy. I know you've not got time and all that bullshit, quite frankly. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I know you're telling the truth, but you've got to find a way. You've got to find a way if you want to grow your business. You can't just say, well, I can't because I'm, in which case you're going to say, well, I'm going to stay as I am forever. If that's what you want, that's great. Again, turn this video off because that's not what I'm about. I'm about helping you to raise your game, to do better than you've done before. That's really what this is all about. And if you think about it, it's not unlike sport. I come from a background in sport. I used to, many years ago, play sport at international level. I was a table tennis player, a ping pong player, if you will. But I played full-time, professionally, played in the German Bundesliga. I was ranked in the top 10 players in England for over 10 years. I never hit my goal of being world champion, but I've always believed that because I aimed so high, I didn't achieve what I wanted, but I did achieve more than I would have done if I'd have aimed low. But that's just me. So if that's the case, if aiming high is what you want to do, then if you think about that from a sport point of view, what have you got to do? You've got to practice more than everybody else. You've got to train yourself. You're going to need a coach to help you. You're going to have to get out there every day, consistently, year in, year out, beating on your craft. These are some of the things that you're going to have to do if you're really going to take your business to where it could go. So if you want any help with that, that's what I do. That's what I've been doing for it's coming up to 27 years now. So actually over a quarter of a century doing this. I'm really good at what I do. The reason I am, I think, is because I took my attitude in table tennis over into the world of business. And I thought to myself, when I started in business, who is the best in the world that I can learn from. Because I did that at table tennis. I spent time practicing, not quite with the best in the world, but certainly the best or the top players in England and the top players in my location that I could practice with day in, day out. And when I got involved in marketing and business and sales, I did exactly the same thing. So I've learned from the best in the world. I've taken all that massive knowledge and I've distilled it into the best of that, which I now spend teaching my small business clients. So if you want to know more, get in touch. Go to my website, book an online meeting, an initial 30-minute online meeting. I want to demonstrate for you my expertise. I'm going to help you with your marketing. I'm going to help you increase sales. And so the worst case is you come away from the meeting and go, do you know what, that was a really good meeting and has given me lots of benefit. Even better than that, you and I agree that we're going to work together over the next 12 months to develop your business. But there are no obligation, there is no hard sell. So what are you waiting for? Go and click that gold button on my website. It's on the homepage at steve-mills.com. Thanks very much for listening. There you go. So I hope you found that interesting. I really enjoyed doing it. A little bit controversial, I know, saying that basically people are not good enough, which is never easy to do, never easy to tell anyone. But, you know, the proof is in the pudding, I believe, you know. If you can get away with doing a monthly or a quarterly email and it's winning you lots of business, then, you know, that's fantastic. You know, a lot of people tell me, you know, I hear this a lot. I've just asked somebody to do a new website for me. And I said, well, why is that? They said, well, the old one wasn't winning any business. And what they end up with, literally every single time, is another website, albeit a prettier one, a better designed one, a more modern one, but they've just spent anything from £500 to perhaps £10,000 on a new website that still doesn't win any business. So why would you do that? I just don't get it. The real key to web development, in other words, actually, let me put that differently. The real key to getting business from your website, to creating sales and leads from your website, is traffic and conversion. You need to spend time or money getting people to your website and make sure that when they go to your website, that your website converts a percentage, only a small percent, perhaps 5%, perhaps 10% of that traffic into inquiries. That's ultimately what you want. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say for now. I hope that's been of value to you. I hope that's given you food for thought. And as I said in the video that you listened to, if you do want to book a meeting with me, have a conversation, talk about your marketing, what results you're getting, and I'll maybe give you some ways in which you can improve those results. To do that, go to my website, steve-mills.com, and book a meeting using the big gold button that you'll see right in the middle of the screen. Thanks very much for listening.